Don Drury, along with Mike Gammett, calling the action for today's game between the Red Devils and the Chiefs here at the Southbourne Madison Square Garden, New York City, New York. This game in progress. This is the fifth period, second half. The Chiefs and the Red Devils. Joan Weston back on defense, and it's Sandy Dunn, the women's captain, back. They're in attack on offense. Dunn with a drive to the outside. Weston trying to stay with her. Weston tripping, going down. Dunn still on the move. Shaw sidestep. Dunn to the outside. Durant tripping up. Dunn going through a grand slam. 5 key points scored. 5 key points picked up on the play. We're going to go back. Here you see it again, an instant replay. Weston with a drive to the inside, trying to stop Dunn. Down the straightaway, running, off balance there, tripping, going down. Dunn by 4. Comes up out of the turn. Shaw drops back. Dunn on the outside. Quick maneuver to the inside, still going high. Durant falls in front of her. Dunn with a lot of speed, barreling right by her. 2 Red Devils caught in the pack. Dunn through, calls it off. The Red Devil lead cut to 1 point, 24-23. You're going to hear the fans starting to yell in the background, voting for this world champion New York Chiefs team. Back 4, the whistle sounds. The offensive jammer is moving up. Sandy Jones moving out for the Red Devils. Carolyn Moreland moving out for New York. 1-1 on the play. Jones sets the mark. Moreland in pursuit. Moreland steady strides behind the Red Devil jammer. Moreland moves to the inside. Jones hits the back, staggers the back, now picks up the pace. He's got Weston at the rear of the pack to lead the way in. Sandy Dunn back on defense. Weston coming up out of that Red Devil turn. At the rear, it's Weston. Weston over the block. Dunn to the infield. Jones still going. Weston taking to the infield over the table. Jones still coming off. There's a New York jammer moving in. Jones forced to cut it off. The official decision, there were 3 Red Devil points scored. 3 Red Devil points scored. Joan Weston on the assist. And the Red Devils move back up to a 4-point lead, 27-23 over the Chiefs. Point out that this Red Devil team that you're seeing is strictly here in an exhibition series against the Chiefs. This is not the regular Red Devil team. This Red Devil team is loaded with people from the Chicago Pioneers, runner-up in the Gold Cup Championship playoffs, such as Joan Weston, Francine Cochu, Nick Scopus, Larry Smith. And they'll be returning to the Pioneers in their regular season starting in October. Jam started. It's Cochu out for the Red Devils. 45. McGuire on the move for the Chiefs. Dunn working on Weston at the rear. Weston forced to back off. Weston forced to back off, and the jammers are barreling in. Here comes Weston at the rear. Again a block. Dunn check to the infield again. Hits to the bench. The jam called off. 1 more. Red Devil point picked up on the play. Red Devil strategy paying off. Weston going back to the pivot helmet on. He didn't have that pivot helmet on in the first half. The Red Devils continue to lead in the first half. They lead now by 5, 28-23. A little bit better strategy by Coach Jim Monty as Weston is moved back to the pivot position. We'd like to take and run down the team rosters right now for both of these clubs at this time. For the Red Devils. Red Devils, number 11, Rita Williams. 13, Candy Jones. 14, Francine Cochu. 15, Rose Durant. 16, Lynn Bartolucci. 17, Joan Weston. Number 18, Catherine Shaw. They're in the red and gray jerseys, if you're watching in color, in two-tone, with the upper portion dark, the lower portion in the lighter color, and in the team numbers, if you're watching in black and white. For the Chiefs, in the split jerseys, if you're watching in black and white, green and gold if you're watching in color. Their series runs through the 40. 42, Sheila Truman. 43, Carolyn Moreland. 44, Debbie Thompson. 45, Judy McGuire. 46, Sandy Dunn. And 49, Linda Sacco. Weston back with a leg block. Jammer attempting to score for the Chiefs. About 30 seconds up to go. Jump block thrown back by Weston. Thompson stopped to the outside. New York bottling up the pack, trying to get that Jammer around the outside of Weston, trying to give her additional time to score. Again, Thompson moves forward, only to be done by Weston at the rear. Thompson back on his skates, again hit back, put down by Weston. The pack and a dead standstill now. Thompson to the outside, stopped again. A big woman back on defense, and the toughest competitive blocker in the league back there. Joan Weston, defeating blocker rather. Time in his jam starting to expire. Thompson again with another effort for the Chiefs, but time has run out. No score on the play. No score. Weston doing a tremendous job of blocking for the Red Devils. Score remains 28-23. The Red Devils over the Chiefs. About a minute and 15 seconds remaining here in the fifth period. We're going to be talking to Joan Weston at the end of this half. So as soon as the game is over, be sure and stay tuned. There's a picture of Debbie Thompson down in the infield. Pack being reorganized. Pivot skaters go up to the front of the pack. Blockers will be in the middle, and the Jammers again as to the rear. 1 minute even now remaining here in the fifth period. New York trailing 28-23. They're trying to get their pack back into formation to pick up those points that they need desperately right now. Already in the second half. This is the fifth period. Red Devils break the first jammer out, and thus far the only jammer hits Cochu. Weston, Bartolucci up at the front of the pack, preventing any of the Chiefs from breaking out. Now again, there are three Red Devils up at the front. Weston dropping back on the assist as Cochu approaches. Dunn back on defense. Weston going into the rear. Weston moves outside, step by Dunn. Weston hits to the infield, coming back the wrong way, spun around. Weston hits up, Cochu attempting to avoid her. Called up by Cochu as Weston was in danger of being passed by New York skaters. No score. And Weston belted by Dunn. There's a 1 minute penalty, unnecessary roughness. And that's the end of the fifth skating period. The score at the end of the fifth period. The Red Devils 28, the New York Chiefs 23. There you see Dunn coming into Weston. The middle will be taken over now for the start of the sixth period. Don Drury, along with Mike Gannon, calling today's action from the Belfort Madison Square Garden. The competition between the Red Devils and the Chiefs. We're here in the sixth period. Jam just getting it away. It's number 13, John Wright, pulling out for the Red Devils. Chiefs still looking for a jammer. They're at a disadvantage, dealing only 4 skaters. As Dunn picked up a penalty at the end of the last period for slugging Joan Weston. And they're at a disadvantage, dealing only 5 skaters. Gammon out with an ankle injury. Doing the color for us here at trackside. He'll be back in the lineup very shortly. Perez in with that block. Right side back. He's out of the 2-1. Smith on the move. Smith with a leg block. Elbow block to the inside. Larry Smith on the move for the Red Devils. New York bottled in the pack by the Red Devils now. Woodbury working on Joe Perez at the rear. Smith moving in a strong position. Perez in with another block by Bob Woodbury. In danger of being passed right now. Smith moves up, throws in a block. One of the dangers of not letting a blocker do his work for you. Roll has been dumped. Roll comes back. Smith backs off. 1 Red Devil point scored. I don't know the strategy on that one. Roll was well behind the pack. If he had made contact with Smith, he would have picked up a penalty. We want to take a run down the men's roster for you very quickly here. For the Red Devils, number 11, Nick Skopas. Number 13, John Wright. 14, Larry Smith. 15, JoJo Stafford. 16, Rookie of the Year, Bob Van Campen. Number 18, Bob Woodbury, the infield coach, Kim Monty. For the New York Chiefs, number 42, Sam Teopola. Number 43, Joe Perez. 44, Larry Lee. Number 45, bench captain Mike Gammon is out with an injury. He'll be back within just a few days. Number 46, John Early, and number 49, the coach, Bill Grohl. Back again for him. The whistle sounds. The offensive jammers make their way forth. Bill Grohl challenging Woodbury in the front of that pack. On the inside of the block. Throws him out of the way. Teopola starts the jam. Bob Van Campen coming out for the Red Devils. Van Campen, Rookie of the Year, comes in with a block to us. 6-year veteran out there. Another block thrown back. Teopola in with that block. Driving. Van Campen puts him down. Van Campen up and chasing. He's lost almost a full half lap. He's about a third of a lap behind. It'll be Woodbury back on defense for the Red Devils. Offensive jammer, Teopola moving into scoring position. Teopola moves to the outside. Elbow block thrown back in again. Teopola moves to the outside. Woodbury there to meet him with a leg block. Elbow block thrown back. Van Campen stops at the rear of the pack by 44, Larry Lee. Woodbury again stops Teopola. Van Campen goes for the lead on the jam. Teopola tries the inside. Cut off there. Van Campen down by Teopola as he checks to the infield. Roll him with a block. Woodbury holding on to Teopola. Well, the officials didn't see that as he held to the outside. Van Campen again stopped by Teopola. Elbow block back by Woodbury. Teopola down that straightaway, bagging off in the turn. Time running short. Teopola side pass. He scores. There's 1 New York point. Woodbury after Teopola runs him into the bench. That brings Grohl onto the infield. One Chief point picks up on the play. Coach Bill Grohl arguing with the official over there. Woodbury did pick up a penalty. We're going to see this one again. There you see Teopula sidestep Bob Woodbury. Most of the inside. The Red Devil jammer moving up. He cuts it off. The play is over right now, and Woodbury grabs Teopula from the rear, dragging him into the infield, and throws him right into the penalty box and into the Red Devil bench. He picked up a penalty. So the Red Devils will field 4. The score, the Red Devils 29 and the Chiefs 24. If you'd like to find out how the rules are applied to this game, we'll be telling you how you can get a free copy of Roller Derby Rules right after this next jam. Joe Perez whips out of the play on the play for the Chiefs. Smith comes out, catches him off balance with his shoulder and puts him down. 3 Red Devils out there on the track, holding in 5 New York Chiefs. Red Devils were the only potential scorer out, moving on the play. Smith moves in. It'll be Perez. Back to the blocking. Smith calling for assistance. Goes up. Perez back of the back. Perez again an elbow block. I don't really understand the strategy here. New York's trailing by 5 points. They don't have a jam around. They've got a jammer back doing the blocking. Grohl breaks late finally. Good move by the Chiefs on the coach's part, but just don't understand how that jammer got back there to do the blocking. Here comes Grohl going for the lead to the inside. Time has run out. No score on the play. No score. Penalty time has expired, and Woodbury will come back to the track. And if you'd like to find out how you can get a free copy of the Roller Derby Rules, it's very simple. You put your name and address on a postcard. Send it to Roller Derby Rules, P.O. Box 1828, Oakland, California, 94604. Be sure to include the station on which you are watching this program. There's a shot of the tremendous crowd here at the Feld Forum. Sold out, as are most of the Chief home games throughout their regular league season. And you can hear those people yelling in the background. Let's go, Chiefs. They're down by 5, 29-24. Woodbury moves to the inside. Grohl back with a drive. Opens the door. New York gets a jammer out. It's John Early on the move. Followed by number 15, JoJo Stafford. Grohl with a block to Woodbury at the front of the pack. Jammers on the play. Secondary jammer starting to break. Jammer's going away. Stafford with a block. Drives Early into the rail. JoJo Stafford, the only jammer out moving. Teopula bringing out for New York. He's a long ways back. Early caught behind the pack. Bill Grohl dropping back on defense for the Chiefs. Stafford to the outside. Hit back by Grohl. Stafford coming up again. Early catches the helmet from the infield. Teopula takes the lead on the jam. He'll be facing Woodbury. Teopula inside. Scores. Calls it off. 1 New York Chief point score. The Red Devils caught asleep. 1 Chief point score. There's a 1-minute penalty. Bill Grohl tripping after the play. Red Devils 29, Chiefs 25. They trail by 4, and the Chiefs pick up a very, very poor penalty as Grohl tripped the skater after the play. Back being reorganized. The officials trying to get it back into formation with about 5 minutes remaining here. Mike, when you're trailing by 5 points, 4 points, you pick up a penalty. Does it influence the team any? Does it drop its morale? Does it?
Yes, that's one of the things you definitely don't need when you're trailing by 4 points. Another thing you don't need is your jammers doing the blocking in the rear. Once you do that, you're kind of limiting yourself to a strictly defensive game. And if you're trailing, defense don't help you that much. You've got to get on the ball and get going. Right now, Grohl's trying to call a jam from the penalty box, which he had a cheap penalty and he shouldn't have been in there. He's leaving on the track.
New York now, the only jammer on the move, number 43, Joe Perez. And the Red Devils send a jammer back to do the blocking this time.
They can afford to be a little bit more defensive. It seems how they do have a 5-point lead.
It's Smith back, elbow block to the outside. Perez moves up. Stop by Smith again. High elbow block. Thrown into the head of Perez from Larry Smith. Grohl returning to the track. His penalty time has expired. Grohl looking to assist Smith way back behind the pack. And Smith trying to run the outside is Perez. Squats low. Grohl back with that block. One chief point scored. New York picking up another one. Perez scoring a point. Grohl with the assist. Here we're going to see it again. Smith on the inside, Perez on the outside, running out of the turn. Smith starts to slow down as he looks up, sees Grohl there. Perez squats low, he keeps his eye on him. Grohl comes back with a block. Perez picks up the point. Red Devils 29, Chiefs 26. Red Devil lead cut back to 3 points. And again, the momentum of the fans starting to get behind this wonderful Chief team.
That's the best feeling I think you can have when you're out on the track and hear them people start with that. It really gets you going.
Back reorganized once again. John Early, number 47, out for New York. Red Devils, Stafford, Woodbury, and Grohl getting out. Early being worked on by Woodbury. Put him to the rail. Here goes Grohl. Grohl moving up again. Grohl down the straightaway. Woodbury staggered. Forearm. Woodbury put down. New York with the only scoring threat on the move. Their pivot skater and coach, Bill Grohl. Bob Van Campen breaking out now. Woodbury back to do the blocking at the rear of the pack. Woodbury on defense at the rear. Grohl moves up. Elbow block to the outside. Stopped by Woodbury. Van Campen moving in. Grohl forced to drop back. Hits back with an elbow block. Slows the jammer down. Still looking for the right opportunity to move on Woodbury. Van Campen behind him. Sidestep. Woodbury kicking out his own teammate. Rice coming into the block now. Theopoula looking to assist. Sidestepping in. Grohl trying to find his way through. Smith checked to the rail by Grohl. Time running out. The official decision. There were 3 New York Chief points scored. Bill Grohl picking up 3 New York Chief points on the play. That'll tie it up 29-29. 10 seconds remaining here in the 6th period. The momentum really starting to drive now. The Chiefs scoring and the fans going crazy. John Early trying to lead the way out for his jammer. Reaches back as a whip. Joe Perez getting out with Larry Smith. Smith drives him into the rail. 1-1 on the move. Smith and Perez. Perez with a cross-arm block into Larry Smith. An elbow block thrown back. Perez picks up the pace trying to pull on Smith. Grohl getting into Woodbury at the rear of that pack. At the rear, it's Woodbury and Grohl. Grohl down the straightaway, another block. Shoulder block. There he goes. Grohl working on Woodbury. Perez moving up. Perez inside. Calls it off. One more New York Chief point scored. And the Chiefs go into the lead. 30-29 over the Red Devils here in the 6th period. Tremendous drive by this Chief team. Watching it again in slow motion. Bill Grohl to the inside, driving Woodbury high, locking up with him, not backing off. Takes him out, almost going down himself. Perez moves up inside. Woodbury trying to stop him. He runs right by with the momentum that he had built. So the score at the end of the 6th period, the Chiefs 30, the Red Devils 29. John Drury, Mike Gammon calling the action for today's game between the Red Devils and the New York Chiefs, world champions. This is the 7th period of this game for the belt form at Madison Square Garden. In its final regulation period of the game. Each team, one jammer on the move. Pokey Truman, 42. Out for the Red Devils is number 11, Rita Williams. Williams dumping Truman. Red Devils were the only jammer out moving. All 5 Chiefs kept in the pack. Truman sent back on defense by Dunn. Williams coming up. Shoulder block. Back there. Elbow block. Thrown back again. Threw him in the back. Looked like she slugged her. Coming back again. I guess it's just a high elbow block in rotation coming back. Turns around the wrong way. No score on the play, no penalty. I don't know, the skater went the wrong way. You see it right there on the screen, and the official was standing right down there in the turn. Looks like the game's getting a little bit looser as the temperament picks up. Temper's starting to fly a little bit here in the second half.
I think you'll find the game is loosening up. They're working with a novice referee tonight, trying to break him into it. He's not really on the ball. I guess he really don't know what's going on. Dave Cannella is kind of doing a whole game by himself, it looks like.
Well, that's a tough job, even if you got 2 or 3 officials out there. But certainly it seems that they should put a man in a little bit more qualified. Maybe he should stay with the minor leagues a while. It's McGuire. Cochu on the move. Sidestep by McGuire. She moves along. Again, Cochu unable to connect with that block. Moving up, better the Red Devil turn. Sidestep again. 3rd time in a row. McGuire back. Cochu put down. New York now, the only scoring threat out, moving on the play. Down in with a block. Staggers Cochu in the rear. Weston back on defense. One of the roughest women blockers in the league today. Joan Weston dumps McGuire coming out of the Red Devil turn. New York again in control of the front of the pack. Dunn driven forward by Joan Weston. McGuire looking for assistance. Dunn trying to drop back. Spins back behind Weston. 2 women talking over the strategy. Shaw breaks out of the pack. Dunn reaches back. There's a whip. McGuire trying to dive away over the top. Dunn moves to the inside. Weston spun around. McGuire scores! The jam called off. 1 cheap point score. New York picking up another one. And the Chiefs pick up a 2-point lead.
Well, it looks like the old Chief team now. A little heads-up skating for a change.
31-29. I tell you, Mike, during the season, I know that the team plays a lot of benefit games. They play an awful lot of benefit games in high school gymnasiums and in college gymnasiums. And right after this next jam, as soon as they get the pack back in the formation, for those people that are out there that are interested in having a game played in their area, we'll give you the information. Again, we point out, you have to be a member of a service club, a charitable organization, or a school-affiliated group who would like to have a game scheduled in your area for the purpose of raising funds for public services. And as the only ones that will be accepted, we do not want and will not accept or answer letters from local promoters. It's Moreland out for the Chiefs along with Weston. Weston putting her down, and now it's Joan Weston, number 17, moving for the Red Devils. Then we point out that the Pioneers will be getting Joan Weston back at the start of the regular season. Dunn in pursuit for New York. She's about a half a lap behind. Weston moving into scoring position. New York with a double block in the rear. It's your wife, Judy McGuire, at 43. Carolyn Moreland triple whip back to Weston through the middle. The jam called off, the official decision. 2 Red Devil points picked up by Joan Weston. 3-man whip, a lot of speed, and a lot of weight to try and stop. Again, we'd like to point out, again, if you would like to take and have a game scheduled in your area, and this is only if you are a member of a service club, a charitable organization, or a school-affiliated group that would like to have a game scheduled in your area for the purpose of public service fundraising, write to Roller Derby Bookings, Post Office Box 1827, Oakland, California, 94604. That's Roller Derby Bookings, P.O. Box 1827, Oakland, California, 94604. If you're a local promoter, don't write. We're not going to answer to you. We only want people that are, again, members of, say, Kiwanis Club, schools, fire departments, somebody that's interested in raising money for their community. We have in the past raised over $15,000 to help the Children's Hospital, Providence Children's Hospital in Oakland, California, and $2,500 just the other night up in Glen Falls for the fire department there. This jam in progress, done being worked on. Jammer's inside. It's called off. The official decision, 4 Red Devil points scored. That'll break the tie, and the Red Devils will go back into the lead. Coach Ken Monty arguing with the official down there. Skaters shaking up down in the turn is Sandy Dunn. Red Devils lead by 4, 35-31. Weston kicking Dunn down in the turn. The official being distracted by Coach Ken Monty on the infield, unable to see that.
slight confrontation. Weston skating away, not being attended to by the trainer.
You can definitely see the style of game which Kenny's trying to give this team. It's kind of a wide open game. They're not really doing that much skating. You can see he talks to the referees and then they go up and kick somebody. I mean, that's not really much skating.
I have to agree with you there, Mike. It doesn't look anywhere near the type of rough, aggressive, but speed skating game that was skated here last season. I'm sure once the season opens up, though, that your team will just put the pressure back on the other clubs just the way they did last season.
They'll get rolling, man. They just can't keep getting pounded around like this.
There's Sacco moving out. Rookie of the year slipping, going down. And again, it's Joan Weston on the move for the Red Devils. Weston with that pivot helmet on, number 17, the only scoring threat on the play. New York unable to get another jammer out of the pack. Moreland and McGuire form a double block. As Dunn was shaken up on the jam prior to this. She's there as a backup if needed. Again, Jones and Shaw drop back on the assist. Sacco breaks out. Weston coming up off a triple whip. Skaters split apart. Dunn back with a block. Weston taken down. Back up, spinning around. Weston still going. Sacco moving up. Weston moves and calls the play off. The jam called off, no score. Weston not taking any chances with Sacco flying up there for the Chiefs. 35-31. Red Devils remain on top. About 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the 7th skating period. Don't forget the 8th period coming up after the women conclude this period. And following that, at the end of the game, we're going to be talking with Joan Weston on a special interview, so be sure and stay tuned. Here she is, number 17, Joan Weston, probably the roughest blocker in the league today. Hammer out, 14, Cochu on the move. 45, McGuire. 1-1 on the play. Hammer's moving out. Cochu, the only potential scorer on the play. Number 14, Francine Cochu, now in contention, scoring contention at the rear. Dunn, low elbow block to the outside. Hits him with another one. Stops Cochu. Shoulder block. Cochu taken back by Dunn. Dumped by McGuire. Cochu back on her skates. Moves to the outside. McGuire back doing the blocking. McGuire and Dunn alternating the blocks into Cochu. McGuire again to the outside. Forced back on defense. Unable to break out of the pack. Weston comes back. Sidestep by McGuire. Weston taking Cochu down. Weston back up to lead away. A whip. Cochu, a lot of speed. Comes into Dunn off balance dump. Time in a jam. About 3 seconds now. Cochu moves forward. Time runs out. No score on the play. No score. Weston unable to get her teammate through for points. Quick agility by the New York Chiefs. Red Devils continue to lead, however, by 4, 35-31. It's Ken Monty up there on the track, conferring with Joan Weston. Ribbon skaters moving back to the front. Blockers in the middle. Jammers at the rear. New York trying to get the pack back into formation. They trail by 4. The whistle sounds and this pack has been formed. Offensive jammer breaking out. Red Devils on top. They've got 2 on the move. Carolyn Moreland getting out for New York. Out number 2-1. McGuire breaking out now. Double block. Moreland put down by Jones and Williams. Again, that double block formed to Judy McGuire. McGuire busting it up, trying to run down through the middle. Coming up out of the turn. All 3 skaters in a dead run out, side by side. Jones to the inside, McGuire to the middle, and it's Williams on the outside. 3 skaters side by side. Neither one able to grab the lead. Jammers moving into the red back to the scoring position now. Moreland down back, McGuire spots low. Red Devil Jammers taken out. That's McGuire in contention. Weston back with the block, stagger the back. Moreland down back to lead away. Power play, McGuire! McGuire cuts it off. 3 New York Chief points scored. Dunn going after Weston. This flying on that turn. We're going to have a lot of penalties up there. They haven't tied the score yet. There goes McGuire. cheers down all over the track. There were 3 Chief points picked up with only a minute remaining here in the period. With a 1-minute penalty, Sandy Dunn, and a 1-minute team penalty on the Chiefs, so they're going to field 3 with less than a minute remaining here in the 7th period. That's going to put the boys in a little bit of trouble as they take over for the 8th and final period. Red Devils continue to lead 35-34. Dunn still out there on the track. Two-minute major penalty now on Sandy Dunn. That's one thing I've noticed. The women don't generally care once their period's over. It seems how the men go into the 8th and final. You must have an awful lot of confidence in you fellas.
Oh, well, I tell you, it makes it a little rough on the boys when we have to start shorthanded like that. One thing at least she did do, she did bring the score up for us a little bit. We're only trailing by 1 now.
That's the score at the end of the 7th period. The score at the end of the 7th period. The Red Devils 35, the Chiefs 34. The men will take over for the 8th period in just a moment. Don Drury and Mike Gammon calling the action for today's game from the Felt Ford. Madison Square Garden, Madison Square Garden. New York City, New York. Come on down. Chiefs and the Red Devils here in the 8th and final period with the Red Devils leading by 1, 35-34. The Chiefs are shorthanded as the women picked up penalties at the end of the 7th period. Dunn picked up a 2-minute major penalty, and there was a team penalty on the Chiefs. Jammers out. There's a leg block in by Rice. Forearm block into Joe Perez. Perez taken down by Rice. Joe Perez back up and moving again. It's number 13, John Rice, the lead potential scorer. Woodbury and Grohl getting ready to do the blocking at the rear of the pack. They're on your screen right there. Grohl comes up with a block to Bob Woodbury. Rice moves up. Grohl forced to drop back defensively now. Skater put into the rail by Bob Woodbury. There's a Chief up there. There's a Chief jammer moving in. The jam called off. There is 1 Red Devil point picked up on the play. And the Red Devils jump up to a 2-point lead. 36-34 over the Chiefs. This is the 8th and final period. I want to remind you that we're going to be talking to Joan Weston directly following this period and this game. So be sure and stay tuned for that interview. It's been a rough game all the way through and a rough series. Again, we'd like to point out, for those of you who might have just tuned in, this is not the regular league season Red Devil team. This is an exhibition series and game between the Red Devils, and they have many of the players from the Pioneers, but the Pioneers will be getting back their full staff when the league season starts in October. Back reorganized once again. Jammer out. Number 15, JoJo Stafford on the move. Number 44, Larry Lee going out for New York. Again, the Red Devils break the first jammer out on top. And again, the Chief jammer in pursuit. Joe Perez being worked on by Larry Smith in the pack. Stafford with a lead on that jam. Another leg block thrown back by Smith. Perez hit back. Stafford moves to the inside. Picks up another easy Red Devil point. It's called off. 1 more Red Devil point score. The Red Devils jump up to a 3-point lead now.
It's hard skating 3 to 5. Boy, they just can't seem to get out on top and get things going here.
37-34. Red Devils lead. I think they're going to get 1 man back now. No, correction. Apparently they're going to get both of them back. There was a 2-minute major penalty on Dunn. Apparently there had been a 2-minute team penalty as well. So the Chiefs are back to full strength. They're skating at a disadvantage, Mike. With you out with that ankle injury, you're going to be back in a few days, and that'll certainly help the club. But right now they're forced to skate 5 full against a team that has somebody on the bench that they can relieve.
It's starting to show on them. Like I say, that they're lagging a little bit, but Bill's got to get the team rolling if he's going to do it at all, because they're running out of time. I sure wish I could help him, but there's not much I can do.
Well, maybe you can do the same thing from out here that Monty's been doing, jump in every now and then.
I've been watching. It's one of Kenny's techniques since he hasn't been skating in so many years. He just likes to get in there and trip a few people or hit a few people. You know, he's even in the girls' field.
Jammers out, moving on the play. There's a leg block thrown by Larry Smith. Double block until you pull it out. Red Devils again with that advantage. And it's Bob Woodbury back to lead the way. Larry Lee back in the rear of the pack, hit by Bob Woodbury. Woodbury in with another block, taken down. Smith still driving. Second effort by Smith. Jam called off. 2 more Red Devil points scored on the play. 2 more Red Devil points scored.
I kind of feel like leaving at this point. Things don't look so good.
Red Devils jump up to a 5-point lead, 39-34. Of course, 5 points doesn't really mean that much in a game like this.
No, not necessarily. When you have 2 jammers on each team that can score, you have a possibility of 10 points at a time, even though it's very rarely you ever see it, but there is that possibility. once you start getting much more below 6 or 7 points, then you know you're really in trouble.
I know there's a lot of fans out there that would like to join the roller derby, and right after this next jam, we're going to tell them how they can become a participant in this fast and exciting sport. Number 15, JoJo Stafford, moving out for the Red Devils on the play. New York, Larry Lee, leg block, shoulder block, Stafford staggered back, off balance, fighting. Hits the infield, jumps the bench, and goes into the rail. The Chiefs now the advantage. They've got the only jammer out. Number 44, Larry Lee. Lee coming down the straightaway now. There he is. 44, the only jammer out. This time the Chiefs reverse the situation. All 5 Red Devils kept in. Number 18, Bob Woodbury, back on defense. Center of the pack. Woodbury, a big man, about 6'2", 195 pounds, completely solid. He's lean, but very, very rough. Lee, a tall man, 6 foot, about 175 pounds. So he's a little bit rougher for me, or at least it looks to me to be the jammer. He's got to use up most of that energy going around and be beat up by the blocker at the rear of that pack. Lee back up, again, dumped by Bob Woodbury. And time has run out as Woodbury puts him down again. No score on the play, no score. Bill Grohl slightly upset. When you skate 5 full like that, I'm sure the tempers have got to fly just a little bit. It's rough on those guys. They've got to block and jam. I know, Mike, you do that yourself quite consistently, though. Does it help keep you in better shape? Or
I find that I can get more wrapped up in the game, and I can keep track of what's going on if I stay on the track more. By sitting down, my legs kind of tighten up. I actually get more tired sitting in the infield and watching the other guys skate. I find that if you can stay on the track, you're a lot better off. Some of the guys would rather come down and sit down and rest. That's a little bit, like you were saying, our training schools, that's something that you learn in the schools with your stamina and stuff like that with good training programs.
Jammers coming up and out. The play in progress. It's Larry Smith moving out of the Red Devils. Joe Perez on him over the New York Chiefs. Perez with a drive to the inside. Belts it again. Smith sustains the block. Smith moving right back up to the New York turn. Throws a block into Joe Perez. Perez scrambling back up. Sidestep by Smith. Perez off balance. Again, driving out of that turn. Back to the inside. Connect. Smith put down. New York now with the lead jammer on the play. 43, Joe Perez. Again, New York, the only jammer out. Rice breaking late from the front of the pack. Woodbury back on defense. Grohl looking to assist this time. Bill Grohl dropping back. I think that's the action they need, there, Mike.
Yeah, Bill couldn't get back on the last jam. He's much better off getting back there early. He's going to start a drive there on him now pretty quick. They're waiting for the Red Devil jammer. They can get rid of him. And he should start moving forward. There he goes now.
Grohl coming up, most to the outside. Perez hit back. Block didn't take. Grohl apparently missing. Now reaches back, fakes a whip. Perez to the inside. Time runs out. And the jam called off. 1 chief point. Joe Perez scoring. 1 chief point. The assist of Bill Grohl. The point picked up over Bob Woodbury. You have those fans who would like to get into roller derby, we tell you that you'll have to write for information on the training school. And the way you do it is you put your name on a postcard and you send it to Training Center, Post Office Box 1827, Oakland, California, 94604. That's Training Center, Post Office Box 1827, Oakland, California, 94604. They'll get you back the information on where you can attend a training school. Mike, about how many players have picked up a year and how many last?
We usually start each year with approximately 15 to 20 new skaters spread out amongst the teams. We try to limit it. We don't want to get too many new skaters on one particular team. We like 1 or 2 at the very most usually. Usually not even half of them last. They find out it's not a vacation. It's work all the way.
The jammer out. Number 47, John Early on the move. Grohl already in the rear of the pack. Bill Grohl at the rear. There's a double block set up. Grohl starting to make his move. Takedown. Early to the inside, and he picks up 2 New York chief points. The officials also ruling the jam wasn't called off in time. Grohl was scored over. There was 1 Red Devil point scored. 2 chief points, 1 Red Devil point. Red Devils still lead by 3, 40 to 37. 3 minutes, 50 seconds remaining here in the game. New York continues to trail in this game. Can we point out, this is not the regular Red Devil team. They're loaded with people from the Pioneers for this exhibition game and series. And those people will be returning to their Pioneer Club in the league season in October. Again, the momentum of the fans trying to pick up this fantastic world champion team. Jammers moving out. It's 42, Sam Diapola. Red Devils unable to get anybody out. Bob Woodbury coming out with a pivot helmet on. Diapola looking back, picking up the pace. The roar of the crowd, and Diapola starting to scramble. Red Devils being worked on in the rear of the pack. Joe Perez in the block. Diapola moving. Goal takes the skater high. Diapola scores. Two more. New York Chief points scored. The assist of Joe Perez and Mel Grohl. Diapola scoring. Red Devil lead cut down to 1 point, 40-39. Again, the fans not letting up off a very tired team. Yelling in the background, let's go Chiefs. Red Devils taking their time, getting the pack back into formation. New York, tired but hustling. The pack form. The jammer that was a blocker now makes his way forward from the rear. Larry Lee starts the jam. Van Campen driven into the rail by Bill Grohl. Grohl in control of the front of that back. Calls a signal early. They prevent the Red Devils from breaking anybody out. And again, it's New York with the only potential scorer out. Stafford breaking late. Blocking going on in the rear. Joe Perez now blocking in with 14, Larry Smith. Here comes Lee. Lee to the inside. Scores. Calls it off. One more. New York Chief point scored. 2 minutes left to go in the game. The score tied 40-40. Red Devils and the Chiefs both with 40 points here in the 8th and final period. I'm going to remind you to be sure and stay tuned for a special interview following this game. As soon as this game is over, I'll be right back with Joan Weston. Back reorganizing. Chiefs very tired, but the momentum of the crowd starting to carry them. They've had it rough all the way through this game. Only 5 skaters, no replacements on the bench. The crowd with enthusiasm now. Red Devils getting the first jammer up this time. Red Devils, 13, Rice starts the jam. Larry Lee out moving for New York. He's about a quarter of a lap behind, trying to close. Woodbury, slow strides. Monty stepping up on the track again, giving instructions to Woodbury. Woodbury back on the block. Lee, foot down. Larry Lee back up and moving. Lee with skate trouble. This is going to be a disadvantage for New York. Grohl dumps Woodbury. Larry Lee with skate trouble, forced to go to the infield. New York now with only 4 skaters on the track. There's a double block in the rear. Woodbury trying to find his way through. Bill Grohl on the move. Woodbury getting by John Early back there. Jam is over. The jam is over. The official ruling that Woodbury did not pass Early in time. No score. 35 seconds to go. If they get a jam started, it's going to run a full 60 seconds. The score tied 40-40. Pack being reorganized. Chiefs at a disadvantage. A skater down on the infield. Only 4 Chiefs battling 5 Red Devils. This jam starts. It's a full 60 seconds. New York now without a jammer. Diapola reaching back in the front. Perez whipped out. Larry Smith with a lead on that jam. Neither team can afford to cut the playoff. They're tied 40-40. Bill Grohl back on defense. Woodbury dropping back now. Perez approaching. Perez moves up, takes the lead. Grohl still trying to stop. Perez back. Smith taking down. New York trying to lock on the back. Perez moving in. Bill Grohl blocked the Woodbury power play. New York scores. Waiting for the official ruling. There's a fight going on up in the turn. The official decision, there were 4 Chief points and a fight going on out there right now. Grohl decking Woodbury. The official decision, there were 4 New York Chief points scored. The final score here at Madison Square Garden. There's Perez coming back with a
block. Instant replay. We're showing you the last jam. The Chiefs have 4 skaters on the track. They have a skater out with skate trouble. Here's Kroll leading away. Perez sees the opening. Drops low. Power play by New York. Perez scrambling through. Cuts it off. 4 New York Chiefs points scored. The final score, the Red Devils 40, the New York Chiefs 44. The Chiefs 44, Red Devils 40. Be sure and stay tuned for a special interview with Joan Weston.
This is Don Drury at the Feltmore Madison Square Garden, along with Joan Weston, the women's captain of the Chicago Pioneers. They were runner-up to the New York Chiefs in the championships in Shea Stadium, but you put on one terrific battle with this Red Devil team. Johnny, you're not going to be on this team throughout the coming season, are you?
No, I have 4 more games.
Four more games, then you're going back to the Pioneers. This is just the lineup for this special summer exhibition series, or?
Right, they had a commitment for back here for the summer, and all the Devils got hurt, so they said that, you know, we would come and fill in.
That's quite a loaded team that you've got out there. Anybody in particular that you'd like to take back to Chicago with you?
No. No.
Nobody in particular. I noticed in the first half that Rose Durand was wearing the pivot helmet. It didn't seem to be as strong as in the second half when you went back to that pivot position. Is there any reason for that?
Well, that was Monty's strategy, more or less, because Rose is, you know, a Red Devil skater, and he wanted her to have the experience of wearing the pivot, even with Saunders and Cavello being out.
I see. Ann Cavella, she had a very, very bad knee injury, and it doesn't look as if she's going to take and really be coming back to the bank track.
I'm not too sure. She had 2 pins in her knee, and she had surgery, and it's been a while now, so I'm not sure.
How does your Chicago club coming up for the season coming up in October, 73-74?
Well, if they give us a couple of days off between now and then, I think we should be in good shape. I mean, this is our 8th straight month, you know. Sherry will be back from vacation, and we'll have Candy and Francine back, so things are looking pretty good for us.
I know you must be looking forward into going back into Chicago, and probably looking forward to a series in that area against the New York Chiefs. I know that you did very well at home against them, and possibly this season you'll have the chance to have championships back there.
Well, a home crowd helps anybody. Any athlete can tell you that. When the people are behind you, it gives you a little more adrenaline than you get, you know, when they're booing you like these people are now.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the women's captain of the Pioneers, Joan Weston.